What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Swamp and Stomp. As you can see behind me, we are at Skull Hill Archery and I'm buying a bow today. So we're gonna be shooting a bunch of different bows and just doing reviews, checking out, what bows are available on the market right now and hopefully find the right one for me. So let's figure out what bows we're gonna be shooting today. Darton Consequence, Darton Sequel, Truth bows. I don't know if you guys have heard of these guys. PSE. People are gonna cry if I don't shoot one. In fact, don't worry, I'm gonna get all the big brands in there. This is the PSE Evolve. This is the Hoyt. The Alpha AX2. Mathews Lift X. This is a Martin Firecat. My name is Mark Barton, and I'm what you would call an adult onset hunter. Growing up overseas, I thought hunting was only something people did in the movies. When I moved back to my homeland, I was determined to learn, but nobody would show me the ropes. I had to teach myself through trial and error. Once I started to figure it out, I vowed to create the resource that I never had, to educate, entertain, and inspire others just like me. Join me on my adventures, learn from my successes and my mistakes. Welcome to Swamp and Stomp. Alright, so a couple of things I'm looking for in a bow. First of all, I'm not that great of an archer, so I want to make sure that I have a really forgiving bow, which means I want a long brace height, preferably more than 7 inches. I like my bows to be small and compact, so I'm looking for bows that are under 33 inch axle to axle, but I don't want to go below 30 inches because that'd be, I think, just too uncomfortable for me to shoot with my draw length. So lightweight, I already said that. I like a nice lightweight, compact bow. And really the biggest thing is price. I don't want to spend a crap load of money. There's a lot of really expensive bows. There's some that are like close to $2,000. That's not what I'm about. I honestly don't think you get a whole lot of extra stuff when you go to those higher price ranges. I am going to shoot a few of them just because I want to experience them, but the price range I'm really looking to shop in is probably going to be somewhere between that, like sub $1,000, like maybe $600 to $1,000. So let's look and see what they've got that falls into those categories, and yeah. All right, so the first bow that I want to shoot, this is going to be a Darton Consequence, and you might have never heard of a Darton. Darton's been around a long time. They just, what? Darton's been around a long time, but they kind of stopped doing business for a little while, and then I think they got bought out and they started again. So this is the Darton Consequence. It's kind of like a middle of the range bow. It's only $650. Very, very cheap bow. I did shoot this one before. I really liked it, so I want to throw this in the mix and give this a try. Is there other colors? I think this is the only colors they have. I don't know. It's a pretty cool color though, right? It's a pretty sweet looking bow. All right, this is gonna be one of them. So this, is this a 31? Yes, it is. So this is also a Darton, but this is the Darton Sequel. So this is like their flagship bow. It's a more expensive bow. It's $1,100, a little above the price range, but the interesting thing about this one is the cams are exactly the same as the Consequence, so it should feel really similar to the Consequence. The biggest difference with this one though is that the riser is machined as opposed to this one that is cast. So it's a little more complex, as you can see. It's a little cleaner looking, but I want to know, is this thing worth twice as much money as the other one? So we're going to give this one a whirl as well. Next up, this is a brand new bow company, Truth Bows. I don't know if you guys have heard of these guys. I don't know if that's focused, but this is a new company, and what's really cool about them is they make their risers out of magnesium, which is super lightweight. It's almost as light as carbon, but it still has that stiffness of a metal riser. I put up a post yesterday on Instagram, and people wanted me to shoot this if Brandon had it. I'm really curious about it myself, so I'm gonna shoot it, but it's $1,600, so it is definitely kind of outside of my price range, unless I ask the wife really nicely. But we're gonna shoot this one too. It's a cool bow. All right, next up, we got a PSE. People are gonna cry if I don't shoot one. In fact, don't worry, I'm gonna get all the big brands in there. This is the PSE Evolve. Again, this is a little outside of the price range that I'm really interested in. But yeah, this is a $1,200 bow, so it's a little bit above it. But I've shot plenty of PSEs that have this same cam system. Great bows to shoot. Definitely want to see what the new one's all about. So this is going to surprise a lot of you, but I've never shot a Hoyt before, because honestly I've just never been interested. But Brandon's finally carrying Hoyt, because he's had issues with tuning them in the past, but the newer ones he says are pretty sweet. So I'm going to shoot a Hoyt. This is, what is this? The Hoyt, the Alpha AX2. Yet another bow that people will cry about if I don't include it. The ever popular Mathews Lift X with a really cool color fade paint job thing going on. I've shot quite a few Mathews. I like them, don't love them, but we're gonna give this one a try. All right, last bow. This is a Martin Firecat M2, I think it is, Firecat M2, Firecat something. Anyway, very lightweight bow. I think it might be a magnesium riser, I'm not 100% sure, but it's a really small, compact bow. Martin's another one of these sort of like underdog companies that used to be like one of the big dogs, kind of went out of business, made a comeback. They have some awesome bow designers, so I got a feeling this thing's gonna be pretty sweet. So this is the last bow we're gonna be shooting.
Then this one, you come from this side, over, under, up, and through. So that's on this side.
You've done this before.
What?
I didn't hear any of that. Let's see if we can do it. Under, over. Oh.
I'm just replacing this.
Oh. I think I did it. Now we just have to dress the knot. Now we're gonna pull all this slack through. There we go.
Kind of makes a noise when I draw back. And,
I think I just tied a D-loop, guys.
Just the arrow running across plastic.
Yeah, that's totally a D-loop.
Yeah, it's not gonna scare anything.
Gotta get this nice and tight, and then we cut it, and then we burn it.
There, like just enough. Just like that. So
I was supposed to go down.
You did great though.
I did it good, but I did it backwards.
Yeah. Just want to make sure the knot's on this side.
And then we'll just get this nice and hot. We're gonna go do a little like. That's not hot. So I'm not supposed to touch the bowstring with this, right?
I wouldn't. You won't have to do this whole bit though if you do. You want to bow real quick. Guys, I came in to test out bows. I'm leaving with the one I burnt and it's great.
Well, it's a good thing.
This is the bow you want, trust me.
This is the bow I was looking at anyway, so I guess that's good. It makes me really nervous pushing towards the, yeah.
You got a Mach 33 in that lineup, right?
No.
Okay.
Brandon's latest apprentice.
Do you not want you shooting that? Just this, right?
Alright, let's see if I remember how to do this.
Cut. Alright, we're filming.
Alright, I'm going to start out with some of the cheaper bows, because I think if I go to these really fancy ass ones right away, it's going to make the ones I'm actually interested in feel like crap. So I'm going to start with the two Dartons, because I really want to know if this more expensive Darton is worth the money. So we're going to start out with the Consequence. This is the cheaper bow. This is a $650 bow. It's a 30-inch axle to axle. I don't know if I said this before. 7 3/4, 7.5 inch brace height. So really, really forgiving bow. One thing I think is like important to note with this too is like a lot of times when you buy these cheaper bows, like they kind of cut corners on certain things, like the cable guide. And in this case, like you get the fancy roller cable guides, which a lot of like cheaper bows you won't get. So I thought it was nice that this bow comes with all the fancy gadgets that you otherwise won't get with the cheap bow. All right, so as it turns out, I didn't turn this one down. We were just shooting it at 70 pounds. No wonder it felt so heavy. We just turned it down to 60. Let's give it another rip. Oh yeah, that's way better. That's very comfortable. Oh yeah. Now I remember why I liked this bow so much last time. Yeah, it's a really smooth draw cycle. There's a little bit of a valley, like as I draw, like when I get about 3/4 of the way through, you can see right here it gets a little heavy and then it pops into place. Really solid back wall though. I like that. I like that a lot. So again, this is the Sequel 31. So that was a 30. This one's going to be a little bit bigger, a little longer axle to axle. So it's going to have, it's going to be a smoother draw cycle because of that. You just have a little more leverage. This one does have a shorter brace height, so it's going to be a little less forgiving, but it's also going to give it more speed. So let's see if this is worth twice as much money. That's nice. It's a freaking sweet bow. The draw cycle, like that little valley that the Consequence had, is gone in this. Even though it's the same cams, I'm pretty sure that valley isn't there. It's like, it's just smooth the whole way, and then you just pop into your back wall. There's like no bumps in that draw cycle. Back wall is super solid. Honestly, virtually like no vibration. There's a little bit of vibration, but there's no, there's no stabilizer on there, so that's to be expected. I really like the way this bow draws and executes. I will say that. Is it worth twice as much money? I don't know. It's hard to say because, like, on the one hand, that little bit of extra that you get is really nice, and if you're willing to pay it, then maybe that extra money doesn't matter to you. But in terms of like the bang for your buck, that Consequence, you're getting a lot more. But this is a sweet bow. I really like it. So for me, like obviously the comparison of the Sequel and the Consequence are not exactly the same because obviously the Sequel has a longer axle, so it's going to make it a more comfortable draw cycle. It is closer to the bow I'm used to. The bow I currently shoot is a 31. This is also a 31. And that brace height is shorter, so it's going to be, like a faster but less forgiving bow. But for me, the draw cycle, like it being a 31-inch axle to axle, is the most attractive part of that. So if I were to choose this bow over the Consequence, it's really because of that axle to axle, it being just a little bit longer than the Consequence. We're going to jump to the, this is the Martin Firecat. So this is a magnesium riser. So this is like becoming all the rage. Super lightweight bow. Yeah, I'm really excited to see how this thing shoots. It's a 6-inch brace height, so it's short, so it's a little less forgiving, but it's super lightweight. So, I do like a lightweight bow. It is a little pricier though. It's well, actually, Brandon literally just got these in, and I asked him how much it is, and he's like, I don't know. but he said he thinks it's around $1,000. So $1,000 for a magnesium riser bow is pretty incredible, considering that the Truth bows are $1,600, the Expeditions are like $2,000. So really good bang for your buck for what it is. Let's see how it shoots. We're running out of light here, but here goes shot number one. This is one of the D-loops I tied, so I might just punch myself right in the face right now. Oh, it held. Ooh, that's a nice draw cycle. Thing is, you can tell it's fast. I can feel it. Let me do that again. See what. Then I gotta shoot it a couple times to like really get a feel for it before I can describe it to you guys. It's a fast bow. That's like the one thing that stands out to me is how fast it is. The draw cycle, let me do it one more time, but the draw cycle's it's definitely not as smooth as the Sequel. It's pretty smooth though. It's smoother than the Consequence, but it's not as smooth as the Sequel. The back wall is really solid. And it's super lightweight. Like, it's definitely going to need some stabilizers to like keep things where it is. But I don't know. I like it. I don't love it. That's all I can say about it right now. I might shoot it again in a minute, change my mind. But right now, like it, don't love it. But it's a good looking bow. I just wish it wasn't this crazy camo. If it was like a solid color, you know, not that the looks matter, but they do. All right, so we're going from one magnesium riser to another magnesium riser. This is going to be the Truth bow. So this is a significantly more expensive bow. This is a $1,600 bow. It is like a feather, though. It is so light. Both of these bows are actually designed by the same guy. I forget the guy's name right now. But it's a sexy bow. Look at that thing. It's pretty. Like, I really like it. It's expensive. I don't think I can afford it. But I do want to shoot it. Alright. So, we kind of have the same comparison going on here, because that Firecat, the Martin Firecat that I just shot, is 30-inch axle to axle. This is a 31, just like the Consequence was a 30 and the Sequel was a 31. So I'm kind of half expecting I'm going to like this one better, just because of that longer axle to axle. It's going to make the draw cycle just a little more comfortable. Oh my god. That's so nice. Oh man. That's a sick bow, dude. Oh, that sucks. Like, it sucks because I don't want to spend the money, but like, that's a freaking sweet bow. It draws so smooth. I feel like my draw length might be a little wrong on that. Feels a little bit short. Maybe it's at 28 instead of 28 and a half. But it's manageable. Let's try. That is so nice. I really like that. Definitely has some vibration going on because it's such a light bow, and that magnesium alloy they're using is super stiff. So it definitely zings a little after you shoot, but I bet you put a good stabilizer on there, it'll absorb all of that and you won't notice it. And frankly, I don't really care about vibration because, you know, once you shoot it, the arrow's gone. It can vibrate all it wants after that. I don't care what it's doing. Yeah, all right, let's talk about back wall. So draw cycle I already talked about. Very smooth draw cycle. Back wall, super solid. It's like straight up rock solid. That's my favorite so far. The thing's badass. Alright, let's see how this thing lets down. Very easy to manage. Very easy. Look at that, I can just slowly let it down. Very comfortable bow to shoot, guys. If you got the money and you want a sweet bow, come see Brandon about these Truth bows. I'm not convinced that I'm gonna spend the money, but I mean, it could happen after I talk to Brandon a little bit. That's my favorite right now. All right, so I had to grab the Martin again because I forgot to do the letdown when I did it before. So let's give that a go. That's a really nice draw cycle, really smooth. Oh yeah, that's easy. Really nice letdown, good let off, you know, back wall solid. This is a really nice bow. Like I'm pretty impressed with this thing. I really like this thing. I really like this bow. It's not as nice as the Truth, but it's definitely nice enough that it's not worth paying $600 more for the Truth. Like I would pick this over the Truth if you know, it came down to budget, because I think it's pretty close to being the same. It's a little heavier, but very, very, very nice bow. All right, next up, we got the PSE Evolve. This is the heaviest bow of these that we've got here. I could just tell, I don't know what it weighs, but I could just tell it's heavy. I think it might say it right here. Nope. It does not. It does say it's an 80% let off. I think some of these other bows have been 90. So let's go check it out. All right. I don't know the brace height on this. I think it says it right here. But I mean, just looking at it, I can kind of tell that it's closer to 7 inches. I think I looked it up and it was like 6 7/8. But I'll put it on the screen right here in case I'm wrong. All right, let's give this one a whirl. Oh yeah, that's fucking beautiful. I mean, that's very nice. As always, the Evolve cams, really, really nice draw cycles. Just really smooth. Honestly, the smoothest draw cycle of all the bows I've shot so far. And that's what these cams are known for. But it is a heavy bow. But it's a very comfortable bow to shoot. That's honestly a tough choice. Like, if it wasn't for the weight on this, I would say this is tied with the Truth. The Truth is really nice. This thing's really nice, but it is a heavy bow. You know, and one of the reasons though that draw cycle is so smooth with this is because of that 33-inch axle to axle. It's always going to help. You know, those longer axle to axles are always going to help make that draw cycle just a little bit smoother. And as much as I do like that, it's not enough for me to, you know, have the bulkier bow with a heavier weight. Let's do a letdown and see how that goes. But I already know it's going to be easy as hell because that's what always is the case with these cams. So, yeah, super takes forever till it starts moving. There it goes. Very easy letdown, very comfortable. That back wall, you can stay there forever. If you like draw up and a deer's walking behind some bushes and you gotta wait and wait and wait, these bows are, like, in my opinion, the best bows to just sit there and wait. Very comfortable to let down. that's a great bow, honestly. I guess I should go inside and get some of those other Flagship bows, otherwise people are going to be mad that I didn't shoot them. Alright, let's do it. We have the ever popular Mathews Lift X, which is basically the same as the Lift and the whatever bow came before it. I feel like they haven't really changed much lately. There's always like a little bit of a change. So I'm expecting this to be a lot like the Lift that I shot last year, but let's give her a whirl. They're always nice. They're never amazing. All right, here we go. It's very dead in the hand. It's Mathews' claim to fame, always dead in the hand. It is very dead in the hand, I will give them that. But it's not something that's important to me. So, draw cycle is a little heavier. Like, not heavier. Let me do it again and see if I can find a better way to describe it. Right before you get to the end, it gets a little harder to pull. So like the peak is close to the end. Back wall is solid, always. It's zippy for sure. It's definitely a quick bow. I mean, I got nothing bad to say about this bow, honestly. It's very nice, very dead in the hand. Draw cycle is decent. It's not the best. It's not bad. It's good. It's smooth the whole way, but it ramps up right at the end there, and that's typical. Like I've always experienced that being the case with a Mathews, and I have a feeling that because of that, it's also going to be a little jumpy on the back wall for the letdown. So let's try and let it down and see what that looks like. Cute right there. All right, let's do the letdown. Whoa! Thing wants to go as soon as you let off a little bit. Whoa. Yeah. It's a very jumpy bow, but it can be good depending on your mentality and the way that you shoot. I think it's good to have that in like a target bow, because if you know that it does that, you're gonna mentally like force yourself to keep that back tension the whole time. But the reason that I don't like it is because if I'm waiting on a buck and it's hiding behind some shit and I gotta hold at full draw for a while, you take your mind off of keeping that tension for a second and it's jerking and you're creating extra motion. And honestly, if you're at full draw, like I've had this happen before, where I'm at full draw and then like I'm waiting for the right time to shoot and I get one of these like where it kind of does a little like that, and then you recover from it, but that stays in your mind. It ruins your confidence in that moment. So this is exactly what I expect from Mathews. Every time I shoot them, they're great bows. It's not for me. All right, we finally got a Hoyt. Everybody loves a Hoyt. Get serious, get a Hoyt, or whatever they say. This is going to be my first time ever shooting a Hoyt bow. So, this is, we switched it up. This is a 32, not the 29, because Brandon just felt like the 32 was a better representation of what Hoyt has to offer. So, get it. I've heard a lot of talk about this bow, about how smooth it is and everything, so not bad. Very dead in the hand, if that matters. It's definitely, it's smooth. It's not wow. Like it feels like a very solid bow. I'll give them that. The draw cycle is interesting. It's like heaviest at the front. like right here is heaviest, and then it like eases up and then kind of pops in. So that's actually a really pleasant experience, like a very nice draw cycle. You know, anytime you have a draw cycle where it's just a smooth transition, that's going to be favorable, and this is a very smooth draw cycle, so I'll give them that. It's really nice. But, so one thing I will say, I don't like the grip. It's like a rubbery grip. It's wide. It's kind of like they tried to make it ergonomic, but I don't know. I'm not a fan of the grip. Like I kind of like my grip to be smooth, so that you know, my hand kind of slips into that pocket up at the top. You know, it like always ends up in the same spot. I feel like when it's grippy, you could, you know, potentially end up lower on the grip and you wouldn't slide. I kind of prefer that my hand just slips into the same spot every single time. Some people might not like that. Some people put little grip tapes on their grips to like stop that from happening, but I personally like that a lot. So let's take a look at the back wall. I think I already said this. The back wall is very solid. Let's look at the letdown. It's kind of jumpy. Not as jumpy as the Mathews, but it's pretty jumpy. I'm not a fan of that. Let me do it one more time. Yeah, it just goes all of a sudden. Definitely don't like that, but it's nice. It's definitely a nice bow. But it's not as nice as some of the other bows I've shot. It's definitely not as nice as the Truth. This thing's $1,400, so it's $200 cheaper than the Truth. I'd buy the Truth over this any day. And frankly, I would buy this. This bow, in terms of like weight and feel, it's like if PSE and a Mathews had a baby. And I would rather have the PSE, which is much smoother. That back wall is beautiful. That letdown is super smooth. Really comfortable to hold at the back wall. I'd take the PSE over this any day. Probably just pissed off a lot of people.
Well, it feels pretty good.
You like it?
I think it'd be a close call between, what is it, the Consequence and this one.
Really? You like it that much? Interesting.
Smooth.
It is a very smooth bow, but like, did you shoot the PSE?
I don't know if I did.
Yeah, I feel like you need to shoot the PSE. I already put it inside. But you like the grip. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it. You know, and I think that's just like a perfect point to make here. Let me just turn this camera around while I say this. Like, oh, it's so dark. One of the things to keep in mind, guys, is that bows are so personal. You gotta come in, you gotta try a bunch of different bows and see what you like. That bow is not for me, but Cody likes it, you know. You might come in, you might love that bow. You might love the Mathews. You might like that jumpiness. Like I was saying, it forces you to stay tight in your back tension, and that can be a good thing, you know, as long as you remember to do it. So everybody has their preferences. So I think the best thing to do is just come out here to Skull Hill Archery and try out some of the bows that you're interested in. Hopefully this video kind of gives you some ideas of like which bows you might want to check out. But there's a whole bunch here that I didn't shoot. So really y'all should just come out here. All right, so I wanted to shoot the Sequel again just because I do really like it. It's a sweet bow. So the big question here is, do I like this better than the Martin? Because the Martin and this are really in the same price class, whereas the Consequence, even though it's like a similar draw cycle as this, because it's the same cam system, is a significantly cheaper bow. The question is, am I willing to jump up to the next price level, which would be this or the Martin. And I don't know the answer to that question yet. I think I have to think that over. But I'm definitely considering it, and I think I like the Martin better than the Sequel. But do I like it, what is it, $500 more, $400 or $500 more than the Consequence? Let's shoot the Consequence one more time. All right, the Consequence. Is it recording? The Consequence. Consequences of your actions. $650 bow. And that is really freaking nice. Honestly, I feel like I like this bow better than the Sequel, even though the Sequel's like almost twice as much. You know, now that I got the draw weight right on it, it draws really smoothly. And the question is, I feel like I'm between this bow and the Martin. That's where I'm at. That's like such a nice draw cycle. Now that it's the right draw weight. I got some thinking to do. Also, a beautiful draw cycle. That is such a hard decision. And for me, it's really coming down to the money. It's like, this one's lighter, it's a little faster, and definitely like a little smoother on the draw. Like just everything about it's just like a little cleaner, you know? But this has a much shorter brace height, which is not something I'm a huge fan of. I need to figure out how much this bow costs so I can make a decision. Let's go inside and find out.
Because they're only like a 12 or 14 strands, where it should be a 16 to 18 strands. It's just how they cut the cost down. So.
Yeah.
But it makes it very, very, very squirrely. Is the best way I could put it. Because the less strands, it only takes so much. Very little.
It's hard to beat that.
A lot.
I want to try the
takes a little bit of movement, doesn't have as much.
Really nice. But the thing I still don't know is the brace height on this thing, but it looks really short. But if I had to like choose on feel alone, I feel like I like this one better. But I still don't know what it costs. It's fast. All right, I've got my conclusions, okay? If money was no object, I probably would have picked some other bows too, but of the ones that I did shoot, if money was no object, I would be buying the Truth. It's $1,600. Since money is an object, like let's go like by price class. So $1,600, top one, best bow that I shot. 100% love that thing. I would buy that. If we go down to the sort of the flagship bow, you know, like the Mathews, the PSE Evolve DS, and the Hoyt, you know, those are all kind of in the same price range. If I had to choose from those three, hands down, the PSE, 100%. The Sequel is sort of in the same price range as this, a little tiny bit lower than those other ones. I would choose this over the Sequel, but the Sequel is sweet. But this one, I'm saying it's in the same price range as this. I'm saying it's the same price range I think this is in. I think this bow is going to be around $1,000, $1,100. That's what I think. I'm not sure. But in that 1100 class, if this bow is 1100, I would pick this bow over the Sequel. But the Sequel is freaking sweet. And then the lower class, a class of its own, the Consequence, freaking sweet bow. Like, I may still end up with that one depending on what the price one is. But if this is in the price class that I think it's in, I think I'm choosing this one. If it's more, I'm choosing the Consequence. That's my decision. Well, the decision to make a decision has been made.
Okay.
It is dependent on the price of this bow.
The price of that bow.
So you need to figure that out.
Well, retail is going to be, it's, I don't know, what we would sell it for is 1100.
That's what I was thinking. That's the price that I thought it was going to be. So
That's
this is in the same price class as the Sequel, and me personally, between the two of them, choosing this over the Sequel.
Okay, cool.
But with the Consequence being as cheap as it is,
$650.
serious contender. I got to think about it. All right, we almost made a decision, but then Brandon made a really good point that I need to make sure, because I shoot weird, I have to demonstrate. I shoot wrist high. Most people shoot with their wrist in this position. I shoot with my wrist like that, which means that grip, I was talking about this earlier, that grip is just gonna slip right into this little pocket. So I need to see which one of these wants to fit in that pocket better, or just feels more comfortable there. So, once again, the Darton Consequence. Feels great. That's so loud. I thought I just hit something. All right, let me try this. I mean, this one also, like, honestly, I think I like the grip on this better. This is the winner. This is my new bow! Come on, let's get out of here. Are you filming?
Yeah.
All right, this is it right here. It was a lot of back and forth because this is a 60-pound bow, currently maxed out at like 58, which is like a little too low for me. I wanted to be able to go a little higher, but he made a really good point. And this is something you should consider too. Is if you're shooting a lower poundage, like I usually shoot around 60, I like the idea of being able to go a little higher, but these 60-pound limbs are probably going to shoot a lot smoother and nicer, or at least different.
It's going to shoot smoother than a 70-pound limb deflection for sure.
So if I put a 70-pound, if I get the 70-pound version of this and tune it down or turn it down to 60, it might not shoot as smooth as what I've been loving about this bow.
The other thing
I shot that 70 in a 32-inch axle, and it was, I didn't like it, but this thing's beautiful. So.
And the other thing is too, when you take a 70-pound and back it off to 60, you're changing the arc of your limbs. You're not getting near the efficiency.
Yeah.
So if you like hanging around 60, I can string this up to like
yeah.
62, 63 pounds. It'll settle around 61, 62. But this right
get
here,
more
though,
speed out of it,
you get
right?
more efficiency if
Yeah.
you're going to hang around that 60 pound.
Yeah. And honestly, like, I shot 70-pound a couple times today, and I freaking hated it. So I'm never going back to 70 pounds. Like, I love being at 60,
Hey, shot
maybe a little bit
placements too.
over.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, this is it right here, guys. Cool. We're getting the Martin
M3.
Firecat M3 Firecat.
Yeah. M3.
Anyway, he's gonna set it up for me. I'm gonna come back in like a week, and we're gonna get the thing finally fully dialed in. So
Cool.
I appreciate it, bro.
Awesome. Yes, sir. Anytime.
Remember, y'all, if you need anything done with your bows, any stuff you need, he's got everything. Come in and see him. And there's a shitload of, a lot of bows. There's a lot of bows I didn't even shoot today. Yeah. He's got literally everything that you could possibly need. And he's even got Hoyt now. So,
yes, we do.
Come check it out. Cool. All right, peace.